If you're living in Hamilton County and you're concerned about the cost of living and what it actually takes in order to live a comfortable life here in Chattanooga, I hope you will stay tuned to this video because I'm going to talk to you about Alice and how 44% of Chattanooga is Alice. Hey neighbor, Amanda Sovago-Royal here. I want to tell you all about the Alice presentation that I was able to attend. It was a great event and I want to share with you the notes that I took and what I learned about Alice. Alice is an acronym for an asset limited, income constricted, employed household. They did a study mostly on a four unit home, or let's say 2 adults, 2 children, a household of 4. And both parents are working, they have full-time jobs, but their income still does not provide them with the opportunity to really thrive. So they are above the poverty limit, but they're still struggling to make basic ends meet. Here are the numbers that really stood out to me and were really actually kind of shocking. 20 of the most common jobs in Tennessee pay under $20 per hour, but for the average household to be above the poverty limit, each working person in the household needs to earn at least $21.75. And that is just to make ends meet. That's not a lavish lifestyle. That doesn't include things like family vacations without receiving additional federal assistance. So many do not qualify for things such as SNAP benefits or Medicaid for health insurance. For Hamilton County specifically, the cost of living over the past 3 years has increased by $23,000. Let me say that again, $23,000. For Tennessee, childcare now costs more than in-state tuition, college tuition. It actually costs $13,000 per year per child for childcare, and that is a 1-year-old child. Those numbers are super shocking. I had no idea. Of course, we can all feel the cost of living increasing year after year after year. We see it in our gas prices and we see it in our grocery bill. And then also on top of that, our health care, and with a lot of programs being cut, Medicaid, people losing those assistance, SNAP benefits being cut, taking those assistance programs that have been set in place for times like these, it directly impacts and affects families. I encourage you to take a look at the wage calculator that is on their website. Again, I'll link it. You have the ability to filter your state, also a dollar amount, and then it'll tell you if that county is able to sustain a family of 4, and you can also even change the household. So for myself, I didn't do a household of 4 because it is myself and my daughter. I just did 2 and what it would take, because she's obviously not of working age. She's not an adult. Put in your wages of what you're currently earning and then adjust those numbers. So that way, you know, maybe before you apply for the next job or you accept that next job or that promotion, you have a little bit more leverage to say, well, this is what I need per hour. And by the way, these are all figures that come before your taxes. This is before those deductibles and all those things. Talking on a personal point, there was one moment in the program that really affected me. I mean, a lot of it did, just given the situation, the conversation that we're having. The video showed a little girl talking about her mom and how she had concerns as a child about her mother, you know, seeing her mother stressed, worried about bills and making ends meet. So it made me think like, oh gosh, I bet Savannah sometimes feels that way, or she has felt that way in the past. And of course, as a mother, that kind of just like breaks your heart because you don't want your children to have to worry about those things. In addition to trying to keep a flexible schedule, because again, as her primary parent, I have to be available in case she's sick, has to come home early, or she has after school activities. So all those things plays a huge factor. 2 more things and then I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go over the 5 pillars that make a family-friendly workplace, because as I said, you might find yourself in a position where you want to get another job or have a promotion. And so having these things will help you determine kind of what job you may want to look for. And if you are an employer, here are some tips of ways that you can make your workplace more family-friendly. I have my list, so I'm going to read them off here. 5 pillars of a family-friendly workplace. Economic stability, so that is to support employees with family-sustaining wages, paid parental leave, paid sick and family leave. Next, flexibility. You want to be able to support work-life integration through flexible schedules, offering remote or hybrid work options, predictable scheduling practices. Another thing, wellness, of course. So investing in health insurance, providing health insurance if you can, and just having those contacts and those resources available, even on the company website, makes a huge difference so people can access that information. Next, of course, childcare and family assistance, and that is helping employees navigate caregiving. So great option, of course, would be childcare subsidies and having those referrals on hand, backup care options. So maybe you allow your employees to bring their child with them if it's more of a casual setting, not all the time, but just in an emergency situation, if that is a possibility and it's safe, of course. Lastly, social connectedness. So creating a culture where employees feel supported through family-inclusive workplace practices. Now, lastly, I want to wrap this video up by telling you about 211. It is a help aid resource. Basically, they helped, I believe, 64,000 families, or they received 64,000 phone calls over the past year. For people looking for assistance and being able to be connected to programs. Again, that number is 211. They can connect you to resources. And then lastly, I'm going to end this video and probably every video moving forward with vote. You need to vote, because at the end of the day, all of this affects us and happens to us based on the representatives we have in office. They are there to advocate for us, and they are there to spend our dollars wisely. So make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you are paying attention to both the city, but most importantly, the county, because they handle Hamilton County's budget. And then, of course, attend those meetings in person when you can. And if not, watch them on YouTube, because that is where the conversations surrounding our dollars, our spending power, what money is being spent on, and who our representatives are, and if they're advocating for our best needs. That is how you're going to get that direct information. That's all for me. I'm Amanda Sovago-Royal. Thank you so much, neighbor, for joining me for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop those in the comment. And actually, I would love if you could leave me a comment to kind of give me some feedback. Tell me if you are Alice, if you're feeling comfortable doing so, or do you know someone who's Alice? So thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.